2020 జేఈఈ మెయిన్ ఫలితాలలో ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్ విద్యార్థుల ప్రభంజనం. ఆల్ ఇండియా అన్ని కేటగిరీస్లు 18, 35, 251, 253, 582, 606, 778, 780, 812, 821, 1031, 1049, 1303, 1575, 1654, 1753, 1754, 1978 ర్యాంకులే కాక మరెన్నో ఉత్తమ ఫలితాలు సాధించిన విద్యా సంస్థ ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్. ఈ ఫలితాలు సాధించడానికి కారణమైన లెక్చరర్లు మరియు తల్లిదండ్రులకు మా కృతజ్ఞతలు. ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్ ఎడ్యుకేషనల్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్స్.
Good morning, welcome back. So let us continue with chemical equilibrium. In the last class we have studied how to write equilibrium constant equation in terms of Kp, Kc, Kx, Kc, Kp, Kx. Right. So we have, while writing Kc, Kp, we have to remember two important points. The first one, the concentration of pure solids, the concentration of pure solids, concentration of pure liquids should be considered as constant. What do you mean by constant? That means their concentration remains constant throughout the reaction. It doesn't mean that they will not react, they will react, but the change in the concentration can be neglected. The concentration of pure solids, pure liquids are assumed to be constant and taken as unity irrespective of their masses, So in which equilibrium constant equation we consider concentration? Now the answer is Kc. So while writing Kc equation, the molar concentration of pure solid and pure liquid, since we are assuming them to be constant, so the molar concentration of pure solids and pure liquids can be avoided while writing Kc equation. Once again, while writing Kc equation, the molar concentrations of pure solids, pure liquids can be avoided because they are considered to be unity 1. Right, the change in their concentration is negligible. So that is the point. While writing Kc, you can avoid writing the concentration of pure solids and pure liquids. Second one, out of solid, liquid, gas, the pressure of solid and liquid is negligible. Negligible means very small compared to the pressure of gas. So the pressure of solid and pressure of liquids and even solutions are negligible in comparison to gas. The pressure exerted by solid, the pressure exerted by liquid or solution is negligible in comparison to pressure exerted by a gas. So in which equation we consider pressures? The answer is Kp, equilibrium constant in terms of partial pressure, Kp. Therefore, while writing Kp, you can only consider the pressure of gas. You can neglect the pressure of solid, liquid and solution. So once again, while writing Kc, you can neglect the concentration of pure solids and pure liquids because they are assumed to be constant irrespective of their masses. They can be avoided in Kc equation. While writing Kp equation, you have to consider only the partial pressure of gas because the partial pressure of solid, partial pressure of liquid or solution is very small in comparison to the pressure exerted by gas. Therefore, while writing Kp, you can neglect partial pressure of solid, liquid, solution. You have to only consider the partial pressure of gas. Let us study types of equilibrium. Homogeneous equilibrium based upon the physical state. Homogeneous equilibrium. A equilibrium is said to be homogeneous if reactants and products are present in same phase or single phase. If reactants and products are present in single phase. So what is this phase? Phase is physically distinct. Physically distinct and mechanically separable part. So phase is defined as physically distinct and mechanically separable part. So what is a homogeneous equilibrium? Equilibrium in which reactants and products are present in same phase or single phase. If I take mixture of gases they intermix with each other in all quantities. Take any gas, right? If I take a cylinder, open the nozzle, the gas will diffuse and it will occupy all the space available to it. You can detect the gas by smelling it. You can identify the gas by smelling it. So this is possible because it diffuses, it spontaneously intermix with other. Therefore, gases they intermix spontaneously and they always form only one phase. If reactants and products are gases, if all reactants and products are gases, then that equilibrium can be called as homogeneous equilibrium because there is only one gas, there is only one phase, that is gas phase. So let us see some example. N2 gas, H2 gas, equilibrium 2NH3 gas. Nitrogen is a gas, hydrogen is a gas, ammonia is also a gas. They spontaneously intermix with each other and forms only one phase, that is nothing but gaseous phase. (2SO2 plus O2 gives 2SO3). All reactants and products are gases. So here also all reactants and products are gases. If a reaction contains only gaseous reactants and products, then such system is said to be homogeneous equilibrium. So let us take one example for liquids. Now this is ester, polar liquid plus water, another polar liquid. They are miscible in each other. These two are miscible in each other. What we get is acetic acid plus ethyl alcohol. They are also miscible in each other. So if all are polar, they are miscible in each other. If they are miscible in each other, it forms only one phase, single phase. So once again, what is a homogeneous equilibrium? Equilibrium in which reactants and products are present in same phase or single phase, one phase. This is possible if all the components, that means reactants and products, are gases, or they must be like this polar liquids, where if the all reactants and products are polar, they are soluble in each other. If they are completely miscible in all quantities, then you will get a single phase, that is liquid phase. Here you will get liquid phase. So the next equilibrium is heterogeneous equilibrium. Heterogeneous equilibrium. So in this equilibrium, the reactants or products are present in two or more phases. If they are present in two or more phases, right, we call it as heterogeneous equilibrium. So the example is, So once again, reactants and products are present in two or more phases. Such system, such equilibrium, we call it as heterogeneous equilibrium. Here you will get single phase, here you will get two or more different phase. So what is phase? Physically distinct and mechanically separable part. We call it as phase. So let us see some examples. CaCO3 equilibrium CaO solid plus CO2 gas. So how many phases are there? First point, right? This is one solid, S represents solid, here also S solid, this is gas, right? Two solids and one gas. First thing, they are different phases. How? Suppose if you take this room, there is plenty of air in the room and there is this marker is solid, there is air which is gas. So you have a gas and solid. Can I separate them? Yes, I can take this marker outside this room. So left over will be gas. So let us consider, once again let us consider this room where you have plenty of air and this marker. Marker is solid, air is gas. If I hold like this, it is present in the air. Can I separate this air and marker? Yes, I can take this marker outside the class. That means I have separated the air in the classroom from the marker. So it becomes there are two different phases, solid and gas, physically distinct. Air is gas, marker is solid, mechanically separable. I can just hold it and take it away. This is simple mechanical process, hand picking. Therefore, since I am able to separate them, there are two different phases. So similarly, here solid, solid, gas. The solids can be separated from gas. It is easy to separate a solid and gas. Just take the solid out of the system. You can separate them, right? So two solids, do they form one phase? This is one important point. These two are solids. This is black marker, this is blue marker. They are two solids. They are present in my hand. Let us assume this. I have placed them in my hand now here. Can I separate them? Yes, I can take out this. Why am I able to separate? Because they do not intermix. Solid do not intermix. I am able to separate them. When I can separate them, if they are two different phases, solid, one solid, another solid, since they are not intermiscible, I am able to separate them successfully. Therefore, physically distinct and mechanically separable, I am able to separate two solids, two different phases. So how many phases? 1, 2, 3. So there are three phases. Reactants and products are present in three phases. Therefore, it comes under heterogeneous equilibrium. Ammonium chloride, this is solid, ammonia gas, HCl gas. Gas and gas, they will intermix, no doubt about it. So here you will get only one phase. What is the product phase? Gas phase. But if you see solid, reactant is solid. Solid and gas, they can be easily separable. Therefore, the reactants and products are present in two phases. Hence, it comes under heterogeneous equilibrium. Similarly, you can write other examples like say carbon solid, carbon dioxide gas, 2CO gas. Carbon solid, gas may form one phase, but this is solid, another phase. So there are two or more phases, two phases. Therefore, it comes under heterogeneous equilibrium, right? Homogeneous equilibrium, single phase. Reactants and products must be completely miscible. Reactants and products must be present in two or more different phases in case of heterogeneous equilibrium. Now let us apply, write Kc-Kp equation for homogeneous equilibrium and heterogeneous equilibrium. So first example, let us start with the Haber's process, that is N2 this reaction is at, let us imagine that this reaction is at equilibrium. Then writing Kc, what is Kc? Equilibrium molar concentration of products to that of equilibrium molar concentration of reactants. So this is according to the definition, ammonia square by product, this is product, these two are reactants, so we will get in the denominator equilibrium molar concentration of nitrogen into equilibrium molar concentration of hydrogen. So there is only 1 mole of nitrogen, so power 1 is same thing. So here you have 3 moles, so you have to write power 3. Remember, they are equilibrium molar concentration. Since all are gases, I can even write Kp equation. What is Kp equation? Equilibrium partial pressure of products, partial pressure of ammonia, stoichiometric coefficient, so 2 power by equilibrium partial pressures of reactants, partial pressure of nitrogen into partial pressure of hydrogen power 3, equilibrium partial pressures. Next you can find delta N. So what is delta N? Number of moles of gaseous products minus number of moles of gaseous reactants. So number of moles of gaseous products, how many moles you have? 2. Remember, you have to balance this equation, then you have to write number of moles of gaseous reactant, 1 mole of nitrogen, 3 moles of hydrogen. So delta N is minus 2. So delta N is negative, that is NP gas less than NR gas. Therefore, Kp value will be less than Kc. So you can even write the units. So this is concentration molar square by molar power 1 molar power cube, or simply you can write molar power delta N molar power minus 2 liter square mole power minus 2. Kp atmosphere, atmosphere square, atmosphere, atmosphere cube. If you simplify, you will get atmosphere power minus 2. So that is one equation. See one more examples for homogeneous equilibrium, H2 gas plus I2 gas equilibrium to HI gas. All are gases. So let us see how to write Kc. Equilibrium concentration of products by equilibrium concentration of reactants. You have 2 moles. So equilibrium concentration of HI whole square by equilibrium concentration of H2 into equilibrium concentration of I2. Similarly, let us write Kp equation. What is Kp? Ratio of equilibrium partial pressure of products to that of reactants. So equilibrium partial pressure of Hi by H2 into I2. Let us find delta N. So number of moles of gaseous products minus number of moles of gaseous reactants. This is 2 minus 1 plus 1, that is 2 minus 2 equal to 0. So if delta N equal to 0, what is the relation? Kp must be equal to Kc. For this equation, Kp will be equal to Kc, right? Now, so how we got this? Kp power delta N. So RT power 0, anything to the power 0 is 1. So Kp will be equal to Kc. Even you can write the units: molar square molar into molar. Molar into molar is molar square, so it will be cancelled. So Kc has no units. Atmosphere square, atmosphere, 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 atmosphere is atmosphere square, it will be cancelled. So Kp, Kc has no units because delta n is 0. So let us see some example for heterogeneous equilibrium. Heterogeneous equilibrium. CaCO3 solid, equilibrium CaO solid, CO2 gas. So what is Kc equation? In general I am writing concentration of CaO which is solid into equilibrium concentration of CO2 which is gas by equilibrium concentration of CaCO3 solid. But already we have studied the concentration of solids must be taken as constant and taken as unity and considered as unity. Therefore, actual Kc equation becomes Kc equal to CO2, equilibrium concentration of CO2. What are the units? Moles per liter. Concentration units is molar or moles per liter. Similarly, Kp. While writing Kp, you have to consider the partial pressure of only gases. Now this is not gas, solid. We can neglect the partial pressure. This is also solid. We can neglect its partial pressure, left over only one gas. So Kp equal to partial pressure of CO2. There is only one gas, so the partial pressure of the gas itself becomes total pressure of the system, right? Because there is only one gas. So the pressure of the system is nothing but pressure of the gaseous component. There is only one gas, so partial pressure of the gas equal to total pressure. What will be its units? What are the units of pressure? Atmosphere. So Kp units will be atmospheres. So delta n also we can find. So how many gaseous product? This is not gas, this is gas. So 1 minus no gaseous reactants, so 0. No gaseous reactants, this is solid, you should not consider solids, right? Only gases. 1 minus 0 is 1. So that is the answer. So let us write one more. Ammonium chloride in equilibrium with ammonia and HCl. So remember they are present in 1:1 ratio. If you do not add or remove anything, then the concentration of ammonia will be equal to concentration of HCl. If the concentrations are not altered, if you don't add or remove, then they will be present in 1:1 ratio. That means the concentration of ammonia must be equal to concentration of HCl. Apart from this, these two are gaseous components. Since they are present in 1:1 ratio, their partial pressures must be equal. Their partial pressures must be equal. Then what will be the total pressure? Total pressure equal to sum of the partial pressure of each gas. Therefore, partial pressure of ammonia HCl equal to P by 2. Remember, at equilibrium their concentrations, partial pressures etc. remains constant, right? If other than equilibrium you cannot apply. So at equilibrium, if the concentrations are not altered, then these conditions are applicable, right? So let us see Kc equation. These two are gases. Now this is solid. Already we have studied. While writing Kc, the concentration of solids, pure solids can be neglected. Let us assume this is pure solid. Then leftover is, I can neglect the concentration. Then leftover is concentration of ammonia into concentration of HCl. Similarly, what is Kp equation? Only gases, there are two gases, partial pressure of ammonia, partial pressure of HCl. The partial pressure of solids can be neglected. So, what is partial pressure of ammonia in terms of total pressure? P by 2. In terms of HCl, P by 2. So, you will get P square by 4. Total pressure at equilibrium. P is total pressure at equilibrium. So, characteristics of equilibrium and equilibrium constant. Actually, we can study in two different headings, right. Now, here we are studying characteristics of equilibrium and equilibrium constant. So, the first point, the position of equilibrium do not depend upon initial concentration of reactants. I repeat, the position of equilibrium do not depend upon initial concentration of reactants. That means, suppose let us consider first student is doing this reaction, he started with 10 moles. Second student is doing the same reaction, but he has started with 100 moles. Student 1, student 2. Same reaction, only the difference is initial moles. First student 10 moles, second student 100 moles. So, the position at which the equilibrium is attained will be same whether you start the reaction with 10 moles or 100 moles. That means, the position of equilibrium is independent of initial concentration of reactant. Does not matter how much you have taken, the position will remain same. The equilibrium can be attained in either direction. So, say one student is doing the reaction with R, this equilibrium will be attained. Another student has started the reaction with P, right. The same equilibrium can be attained. The equilibrium position will be same. So, equilibrium can be attained, right, either by starting the reaction with the reactants or products. Next one. Say you are doing a reaction in the absence of catalyst and in the presence of catalyst. First reaction, you are not taking any catalyst. What is catalyst? We add the catalyst to speed up the reaction, to increase the speed. So, what is catalyst, how it works, that we are going to study later. Now, for the time being, remember, catalyst is a substance which is added in small quantity, right, to increase the speed or rate of the reaction. You are doing a reaction, equilibrium reaction, in the absence and in the presence. Does catalyst affect the position of equilibrium and the value of equilibrium constant? The answer is no. A catalyst has no effect on position of equilibrium and the value of equilibrium constant. Let us see why. What does a catalyst do? It speeds up, it increases the rate of reaction. That means, compared to this reaction, in this reaction equilibrium is attained at much faster rate and తొందరగా equilibrium reach అవుతుంది. But we are not considering the time here. We are considering the position. The position will be same. The position will be same. So, here it speeds up the reaction of forward reaction and backward reaction by same factor. Hence, equilibrium position is not altered, and also the value of equilibrium constant remains constant, because it speeds up the rate of forward reaction and rate of backward reaction by same factor. So, conclusion, a catalyst do not alter the position of equilibrium and the value of equilibrium constant, because it increases the rate of both forward and backward reaction by same factor. But what difference you can notice? Compared to a reaction in which there is no catalyst, the equilibrium in the reaction which has a catalyst is attained at much faster rate. అంటే ఇక్కడ ఈక్విలిబ్రియం అనేది తొందరగా రీచ్ అవుతుంది. దట్ ఈస్ వాట్ ఐ వాంట్ టు సే. దట్ ఈస్ ద ఓన్లీ డిఫరెన్స్. సో ఇట్ డు నాట్ అఫెక్ట్ ద పొజిషన్ ఆఫ్ ఈక్విలిబ్రియం, డు నాట్ అఫెక్ట్ ద వాల్యూ ఆఫ్ ఈక్విలిబ్రియం కాన్స్టెంట్. Suppose if I take a reaction like this, H2 gas plus I2 gas equilibrium to HI gas. I am reversing this reaction. Reversing means products becomes reactants, reactants becomes products. Let us call its equilibrium constant as K. Let us call its equilibrium constant as K dash. The question is, are they same or different? K dash, are they same or different? Let us see how. Now, according to the definition, what is K? Equilibrium molar concentration of products, that is HI. All are gases, so nothing to worry, you have to write all concentration by equilibrium concentration of reactants. Now what is K dash? Same thing. Now it is reverse. So products becomes reactants, reactants becomes products. So equilibrium concentration of H2I2 HI. So you can see that their values are not same because the ratio of products by reactants is different. What will be the relation? Let us see. Now what I can write this equation as? I can write this equation like this. Now if you see this denominator, this is nothing but K. So what I can write here, this is nothing but 1 by K. So if K is 10, then what will be K dash? 1 by 10. If K is 100, then K dash is 1 by 100. So their values are not same. So if a reaction is reversed, then equilibrium constant of that reaction, that is K dash, is equal to reciprocal of 1 by K is nothing but reciprocal of equilibrium constant of original reaction. Reciprocal of equilibrium constant of original reaction. This is our original reaction. It is reversed here. Then equilibrium constant of this reverse reaction is equal to reciprocal of equilibrium constant of original reaction. That is another point. Next point. Let us assume its equilibrium constant as K. I am multiplying this reaction with 2. So if I multiply with 2, what happens? 2 into H2, I will get 2 into I2, 2 into 2HI, that is 4HI. I am doubling the concentration of hydrogen, doubling the concentration of iodine, doubling the concentration of HI. Let us assume its equilibrium constant as K dash. Now the question is, does K and K dash are same? Now see, what is the name of this reaction? Formation of HI from H2I2. Here also same thing, formation of HI from H2 and I2. But the stoichiometric coefficients of all reactants and products are doubled. The question is, do their equilibrium constant remain same or different? So let us find out. According to the definition, what is K? It is the ratio of equilibrium concentration of products by reactants. So just applying the definition. Here also I will apply the definition. Here we have 4, therefore HI power 4, equilibrium concentration of H2 power 2, equilibrium concentration of I2 power 2. Do they look like same? No. See the powers, they are different. So K cannot be equal to K dash. Let us find the relation. I will try to express this equation in terms of K. whole power 2. See here, 2 into 2, 4, 1 into 2, 2, 1 into 2, 2. Whatever that is inside the bracket, that is equal to k. So what I am doing is replacing this with k. So what I will get, k dash equal to k square. So if a reaction is multiplied by 2, if I multiply this reaction with 2, I will get this. Then equilibrium constant of that reaction will be equal to square of equilibrium constant of original reaction. So if a reaction is multiplied by 2, then equilibrium constant of that obtained reaction will be equal to square of the equilibrium constant of original reaction. So ఇది 10 అయితే ఇది 10 square, that is 100. So why to multiply with 2 only? If I multiply with n, entire reaction NH2, Ni2, 2NHI, then what I will get? What I will get? K power n. So if I multiply the entire reaction with n, entire reaction, remember, not only one component, I have to multiply all reactants and product with same number, then only this equation is applicable. Let us see one more example. Suppose if I multiply with half, so in general it is k dash equal to k power n. If I multiply entire reaction with n, NH2, Ni2, 2NHI, then k dash will be equal to k whole power n. Suppose let us say I am multiplying with 2. What I am doing? I am multiplying with 2. Then let us see what happens. I am multiplying this with 1 by 2, sorry, or dividing this reaction with 2, this reaction. So what I will get? If I multiply with 1 by 2, what I will get? Half H2, half into I2, equilibrium HI. Right, multiplying this equation with 1 by 2 or dividing with 2. I am reducing the concentration of H2 by half, I2 by half, HI by half. All the components we have to do by same factor. Then let us see. Let us assume its equilibrium constant as k dash now. Let us find the relation between these two now. So what is k dash equal to according to the definition? Power half. Half is the stoichiometric coefficient. Are they same? No, but we can make them same. Let us see how. So I am taking half common. 2 into half, that is 1. 1 into half, that is half. 1 into half, that is half. But see, whatever that is inside the bracket, that is equal to k. So what I will get here? K whole power 1 by 2. So if you multiply entire reaction with half, then the equilibrium constant of this reaction, obtained reaction, will be equal to square root of equilibrium constant of original reaction. Square root of equilibrium constant of original reaction. So you can apply for any number, but remember you have to multiply all the components by same factor. Right. Let us consider the last point. Suppose, let us consider this reaction N2 plus 2O2 equilibrium gives 2NO2 gas. Okay. If you can express this reaction in 2 or more steps, let us see how. Mechanism, I am writing mechanism, let us say mechanism. I am expressing the same reaction in 2 different steps. First step, N2 plus O2 equilibrium to NO gas. Let us assume its equilibrium constant as K1. Second step, the formed NO combines with oxygen to form 2NO2. So this is overall reaction, this is stepwise mechanism. So what is the relation between overall equilibrium constant and equilibrium constant of respective steps, let us say. So according to the definition, K equal to NO square by N2 O2 square. So what is K1 here? NO square by N2 O2. K2 NO2 square O2. So what is the relation? Find K1 into K2. So what I can do now? So I can cancel this NO square. Here leftover is N2, O2 into O2 square, concentration of O2 square. So this is nothing but K. So the overall equilibrium constant is equal to the product of equilibrium constant of each step. If a reaction can be expressed in 2 or more steps, then the overall equilibrium constant of the reaction is equal to product of equilibrium constant of each step. Equilibrium constant of each step. I will give one more useful example, H3PO4. Tribasic acid 3H plus PO4 minus 3. Let us say its acid dissociation constant as Ka. Acid dissociation constant as Ka. Now it can dissociate in 3 different steps. First step, H3PO4, you will get H plus H2PO4 minus, say its acid dissociation constant Ka1 first step. Second step, H2PO4 minus dissociates into H plus HPO4 minus 2. Its acid dissociation constant Ka2, HPO4 minus 2, H plus PO4 minus 3. So what is the relation? This is overall acid dissociation constant. This is dissociation constant of first step, second step, third step respectively. So from the above conclusion, Ka must be equal to Ka1 into Ka2 into Ka3. For your information, Ka1 is much greater than Ka2, Ka3. So this we will study later. So if a reaction can be expressed in 2 or more steps, then the overall equilibrium constant is equal to the product of equilibrium constant of each step.
ఇంటర్మీడియట్ విద్యారంగంలో అగ్రగామి మన ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్. ఐఐటి, జేఈఈ అయినా, నీట్ అయినా తిరుగులేని విద్యా సంస్థ ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్.